Hey, how about the Leftover Salmon, huh? We've got founding members, Drew, Emmitt, and Vince Herman. Good to see you guys. The band is sounding really good. This is a particularly savory version of Leftover Salmon, I have to say.
I gotta say, it's probably my favorite incarnation of the band in all these years.
It's a really good rhythm section. Everybody's really sounding good. And this record, I want to ask you, did everybody kind of pitch in with pulling this together in the songwriting and the arrangement and stuff?
Absolutely. Every single member of the band had something to present for this record, and it was just a beautiful thing.
And you recorded in Arizona, right? Wave Lab.
Yes, in Tucson, Arizona. Great thing. They had 40 keyboards set up, ready to go, plugged in at all times. And Eric
just in
used
case.
6 of them at a time, I think.
Okay.
He had some toes added.
Yeah. And you had Steve Berlin helping kind of sort through all the options.
Yeah, there were a lot of options.
Yeah.
And he's a master of tone.
Yeah.
And we chased some things that are new territory for Salmon.
Yeah. He's adventurous, and of course, all those years with Los Lobos, he's just got great ears, and he's covered a lot of territory in terms of the projects he's already worked on. But I think that's a great combination, an inspired combination of Steve Berlin and you guys. Must have been really fun.
Really fun. It was our third project with him.
Yeah.
And I felt like this one really gelled with him, and I just felt like he really understood the band after these 2 previous projects, and really had a great sense of where to take it.
It can take a couple years to really understand Leftover Salmon,
Just a couple, yeah. Just a couple.
Longevity helps in this case.
It does, yeah.
And of course, the album title, Something Higher, is a gentle nod to the fundamental conundrum of Leftover Salmon, which came first, the music or the party?
Yes. Often they happen at the same time.
Yeah.
I must say.
Something higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
More like higher consciousness,
Yeah,
not so much drugs.
We really, we're in Colorado.
Yeah.
So the mountains are a little higher than they were just a couple years ago.
That's right.
And, but at the same time, the country, seems to be getting lower.
Interesting, yeah.
So we thought we'd just urge everyone to just crank it up a little higher and
aim a little higher.
Be your best self. Be our best selves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for dragging me up from the depths where I was going naturally with this line of questioning. So I'm gonna aim a little higher and not succumb to those easy targets. Vince, I know you wrote a kind of a political song talking about the country sort of sinking to new depths. House of Cards. Was that inspired by the TV show or just?
Well, it just I guess the TV show was in mind, but really it's the apparent instability of so many institutions and things that we hold dear that are like a house of cards that could just crumble at any minute. You have to remember how gently you have to work democracy, and we really hope that things turn around.
Yeah, it requires us all agreeing that these things are important. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's really just that. It's an agreement. It's just an understanding.
And then having some way to generate an understanding through things like radio and shows like this, man, because the voices are harder and harder of reason are harder and harder to hear.
Yeah.
So good job, Nick.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you. There's a lot of us working on this thing. Your song, as much as it points out what's wrong, it also has a sweet message. Just that love will prevail.
It always does.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
It's a more powerful force.
Yeah. Drew, I just want to ask you about, I know the band's been together, as I said, almost 30 years, coming up on, this is 29, I guess, right? So there's so many things that you've already achieved, so many things, so many adventures, so many wild experiences that you found yourselves in the midst of. Is there anything, I know it sort of leads itself once you're in and going, but are there things that you kind of hold out and think, man, someday, maybe, we can play at the Great Pyramids, or we can jam with David Byrne or whatever. I don't know what your. Do you have any things like that are sort of left that you imagine would be cool?
I do, and I think it's more people that I want to play with than anything else, because to me that's the richest part of doing this is meeting these amazing musicians and being able to play with them. We've played with a lot of great musicians, and there's definitely some in my mind that would be a big dream to be on stage with, and there's a few.
Are you going to name some names, or shall we just guess?
Do you want me to name names?
No, you
Should
don't
I
have.
name names?
I mean, it's if you say it, it'll make it more likely to happen.
All right. I'd love to play with Eric Clapton. I think he's top of my list, and I think Jimmy Page is up there.
Good, solid bluegrass names.
Just solid bluegrass names.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For me, it's William Shatner.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to tell you one brief story, which is that in 1980 or something like that, Hot Rise was on Good Morning Boston, or one of those morning shows in Boston. 7 o'clock in the morning, we're at this TV studio, and the other two guests were Arnold Schwarzenegger and William Shatner.
Wow. What a green room scene.
Hot Rise, William Shatner, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And Arnold split his pants on television doing an exercise that he was demonstrating for his new fitness video. And so we got to point that out to him.
On live television.
And it was really hard for him to see because that was his super muscle man. He literally could hardly bend down to notice that he'd split his pants. But he did tell us that the banjo was his favorite instrument, except for the organ. And that's just some of the fun that you have when you're in a band. Just crazy stuff like that happens. You never know. So anyway, I think it's very likely that your dreams will come true, Drew. Just, put it out there, man.
That would be great. I'm putting it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there is a sweetness in what you guys do. There is a sort of invitation to get together and connect and rise above the chaos and celebrate. So you've been doing that for a long time. Music, Love, and Friends, another reference to one of your songs. It's all in there. The big family love of Leftover Salmon. Congratulations, you guys.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks,
Yeah,
eTown.
new record. Let's get back to music. Welcome back, if you would. Leftover Salmon. Thanks to Drew Emmitt and Vince Herman.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Nick Forster from eTown. If you want to stay up to date with all the performances, interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage, click the subscribe button. Thanks.